So how is
This is, yeah, no, that's a great question. That is an indirect cost plan. So what we do is we identify all of the direct costs on a monthly basis. So usually that's salaries and fringes, supplies and things like that. Your annual cost allocation plan looks at security in the courthouse, heating, lighting, everything in a big picture. We provide that service as well. You just utilize a different vendor for that.
okay? So it's not duplicating that service. You're
No,
doing it
actually,
on a monthly
it kind of
basis.
piggybacks off of it, right? The indirect costs are pretty much affected by the direct costs. So no, that's a great question.
And when we do get that money back, we see it a lot.
Yeah.
Scott, have you reviewed this?
No. Lisa's got me going right now.
Oh, we've got it, dear.
We've got that in our,
We do. I
Yeah.
think we got it in our packet somewhere.
Okay. We've got it. We're good.
I'll look at the original.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary when I, what's that?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, they give us one in the red file to sign, so we could probably sign either or.
It's fine.
Okay.
Good, okay. Then,
A motion to go ahead and approve the signing of the agreement between Malcon and the Hancock County Clerk and the Prosecutor's Office.
make a motion to approve the contract between Malcon, Indiana Incorporated, and between Malcon Incorporated, and the clerk's office and the prosecutor's office to be added into that.
An amount of
$650 a month per
For all.
each,
Yes, that's correct.
per each office. And to be paid for out of the, what fund is it?
We usually tell them pay it out of the incentive fund,
and
the
then-
county incentive
okay.
fund.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the contract between Malcon, Indiana, and the Hancock County Clerk and the Prosecutor for reimbursement of eligible costs with the recovery of Title, 4D expenses from the state of Indiana, in an amount per office not to exceed $650 per month to be paid for out of the
Incentive,
county incentive,
They've got it in the budget.
county incentive line.
That'd be our recommendation.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
For helping me to understand. I was getting
Oh,
those.
no, and it's a, like, and I agree with you. Sometimes you're like, wait, when you already do this, it's two separate things. But yeah, you're
I appreciate
good.
it.
You're good. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Yes.
So I'm not the only one.
Just a motion to recess.
Make a motion to recess.
Second, it's been moved and second. We will have a short recess. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Oh, no.
I'm Gary McDaniel.
Okay.
I actually live in Hancock County. Well, you would need
Okay.
to talk to
Really?
the
lovely little
Are you from Newfoundland?
surveyors. I think they.
Yeah. Okay, so I grew up there. I lived out there forever.
So
Drainage fee, I think. Is that what it is? I think, and that's attached by the surveyor's office. I don't. We don't make up the rules.
So Wade McBride.
I know,
He is the
you know
coach
what,
at
there's been a lot of
Okay,
money.
okay.
Actually, we
Goes to
send
the
out
Sean
taxes.
Line.
Oh, I know Sean.
Sean,
Yeah.
I've been with all this.
$0.
He's I mean, not real.
Yeah.
Lena's my real.
Yeah.
I saw your,
You know what?
It's
fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I rode my bike
I'm
across
gonna go ahead then. I'm not gonna worry about it today.
It's
I thought if I could get
Alright.
it done, great, but.
girl. I didn't graduate
yeah, that's something you've done.
And I wasn't real sure what. I
Gave you
wanted to know
baseball.
the difference between my
We like that, those type of people.
I know, right?
child and what now. I was like,
Hey, we used to-
we're good.
And you're like,
Thank you for checking on that.
I wanted to introduce
I'll,
myself.
I'll bring it next
At a
time.
bridge with JMI. Or a roundabout, I'm sorry, a roundabout on 700.
Worth, okay.
Yep. So, Marcia Craney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And so
she retired
I-
last
She
year.
did, so I've been around, so I know Gary.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what,
And then maybe I'll get a hold of you. 'Cause
when
he's
they,
got-
once they dug it all out. Oh,
I don't know if you remember.
there was a drawing.
You probably put your.
Probably, you got my number?
I do not.
Yeah, so you still, it was probably.
Now I'm
You're
interested.
okay.
Right, you know, right? You
Yeah.
guys have a great day.
Thank you, nice meeting you.
Mr. Midhofer, I haven't followed up yet on your ask.
Yeah,
Please talk to
but
us.
you're still being recorded.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Gary Mick.
So Gary Midhafer
Gary
lives
McDaniel.
behind the Wakeport Apartments.
Okay. Oh, out on 40?
Yes.
And he
Okay.
has a trash issue that really needs to be handled by.
And I went out there
Cumberland.
and looked at that,
Uh-huh.
and it is under Cumberland's jurisdiction.
Yeah. So his issue is trying to get a hold of the guys at Cumberland to do anything.
Okay.
I talked to Christine Owen
You did? Okay.
So should
7
I,
days ago, and I also texted this morning again. Kirby Laux, they're with the development
Okay.
part of it. Told them that
couldn't get out of it.
get it cleaned up, we're getting work ground, and
Yeah. I could run to Cumberland City Hall,
Okay.
talk to somebody out
If
there.
not, I can stop there on my way back to the State House today and just say, because we got the waste management people to come out and pick
Yeah.
up all the trash. Now it's,
So now it's Cumberland's time to do their job.
yeah.
and
I'll do that.
Okay,
stop
all
in
right.
there this afternoon if I have a chance. If I
Okay.
address them again.
Okay. Well, Bill, he will address it as he goes back to the State House.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I live in Sugar Creek Township.
No, you have to have. It really has been, our garbage cans are going in the road,
That'd be me. Their representative there.
Sugar Creek or Buck Creek?
Buck Creek.
He's Buck Creek.
Okay,
Well, you got Sugar Creek, don't you?
yeah, I live in Sugar Creek.
I got your phone number. That's it, Gary. It says 225-9025.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
I got it. You're welcome. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's goes and meets with the Model A Club at the Theros. We go Bible study on Thursday. Bob Cook. It's like a miniature version of it. Get you there, and everybody that has their problems, they get you. And he goes, well, thanks for getting my trash problem. Now, Mr.
Take care of
Miller
his.
has a problem. Can you help him?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
That's the one that called me, and I went out there and looked at it. And it is trashy, and a lot of it's blown out into his field also.
Yeah.
So, and that will affect his crops, plain and simple. So,
They just need to send somebody out there, pull all the junk out.
Yeah.
and back
See,
it up. Just-
I'll tell you what, those houses
Hey.
are crap.
How are you? I'm all right.
Very colorful.
Trying.
I'm not even gonna go there.
No comment. That's probably, you're reading very wild.
It's your story, I'll let you tell it.
Exactly.
So, have you heard the deal with Thomas?
Just remember, you may go someplace. Right.
Oh, were you working yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
I got home at 2 o'clock this morning, so yeah. Yeah. This is long.
I know how it feels to stay up for 48 hours.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
It ain't fun.
Yeah.
Saw the timing and all that and wondered if you were working.
I hope that guy don't, the governor doesn't sign
They
it.
did the concurrence at the end of the night. They didn't have to, but I think it helped. It helped them just knock it out. You know, they'd waited a long time to do
Well,
that.
it's a tax increase, because you got the 1% on there, that goes,
But we said, hey, we're into the third day. Let's just do everything and don't go back
people.
today. But
Oh,
they're all, I think, yeah, they're going back. They had caucus at 8:30 and they'll be back in session at 10. They got a lot of stuff on third reading and other concurrences that they have to do, so, yeah.
He signed that,
The last 2 weeks are just like that. You never
for
know.
it being up for it. He ain't fooling.
Maybe
Article
some,
that's
a
talking
lot
about,
of it is because they just
well,
push
that's
it
for
off.
bullshit, because they're not capable of dazzling us through.
Strategic, because if you don't hear, like if some of the things on second reading didn't get heard last night, it's hide. You know, because of
Somebody
the
was doing
deadline.
that.
So you're like,
Is it me?
okay, this, that
One of
way,
us or a couple of us would reach over and take a risk.
the House Bill
Put it over
1001,
his head like this.
there were 73 amendments on it, I bet.
That's right.
You had a question.
And what we told people
9 of those were dim. There was only
Shit's
4,
getting deep.
and they hit just about every one of those. So from 4 o'clock until,
Seen you.
was causing trouble.
seemed like 9 o'clock, they were going through all their,
I was the class clown when I was in school.
and the House got finished before us, so I don't know what they were.
He should have became a comedian. He would have been rich.
Like every year, this is the way
I
it
don't know
is.
if that's a good or bad thing. And his
There's
mother's
a ton of
got
stuff
picking
to
pretty
do.
quick with it too.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
Of course, I married her.
Hopefully, there's light at the end of the tunnel next Thursday, and
And
everybody's
up, she's a
out.
clown. She's a real clown.
Everything has to be fine.
Well, she's got all her stuff.
They're saying by the 24th.
That's just one part of all the crazy.
They can get.
Dress up as a clown and drive a school bus. Really?
Later this year.
Good for her.
She's
Yeah,
for so
it's going to be an interesting, just to see how that works.
jogger ran into the back of her bus. I'm not making
The
that
business
either.
personal property on buildings has me concerned going from what it wasn't to $1 million one year, 2 million another. And a lot of that is just self-report. I mean, nobody goes in and checks all that.
Spandex.
I mean, if it was me, I'd go create a business that just had $2 million or less worth of business personal property and drive on.
We've been paying it for several years, but I'm like,
Wasn't anything that anybody had to complain about either.
Yeah.
My fear is the way they've got that structured. I'm not sure how it works, but I've been told by some financial people down there that eventually that will shift all back over to the residential homeowner.
The jogger, because he used to see the jogger.
Everybody along
probably
that.
see it from
Yeah.
right there.
And so he dedicated the jogger every time.
I lit that you can't take a tax deduction on. At least you could take a property tax deduction. You can't take any deduction
You
there.
gotta see some of the comedian acts
Yeah, the
out there.
schools were down there yesterday, so I don't know how all that's gonna play out.
Some lady was singing, you're not woman enough to take my man.
Yeah.
Gary Stern was up there playing guitar
I just thought
and
about that. That's probably why, because.
went in,
they still have
changed
to
into a
maintain that
woman's
whether
outfit,
you or not, it's
long
coming out of
wig
their
and all that,
budget, so
and
you have
put
to
the
give up
plastic
some
lips in his mouth and come up. It was
That's probably what it is.
Growth is
I
gonna
don't know. I'm just
stall.
sitting here trying to
Still
think.
singing.
I don't know.
Get an excess levy appeal.
I don't know everything.
I don't know what they're thinking.
But it is,
You know,
but it's not out of the same pot.
no, you're right. I'm sure-
That's what
I'm
it
sure of
is.
that.
That's exactly what
The
it
other thing
is.
they have.
I never really thought about
bonding
it.
Projects, bonding that we see
I
here,
know, I love that blouse.
a lot of people may be upset about it, but it's mainly care and maintenance of local. And it creates a
just thought you
stable
were
tax
that
rate. What they're gonna do is create a rate that goes like,
One ounce, too bad.
that's, may be okay for a while right off the bat that it's low for people, but they'll start to see this up and down roller coaster ride, and they'll be like,
They are. Did you get this
yeah, we'll
binder
be.
down there for them?
Well, that's it. You know, I think now through all the financial advisors across the state will come together and say, okay, what does this mean
There's
to
bids down there for infrastructure.
Oh,
counties?
We probably should have told them.
But we'll
Oh,
work around it. I mean, I think we always have. It may not be okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around when it's open. Can I step out of the room when you open that box?
When I what?
When you open that box.
What is that? It is a bid?
For infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
Well, no.
Okay.
Feel lucky.
Okay.
Oh, it's a truck right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, he knows you're down here. He did up your luggage.
got the contract there.
Let's check.
And I'm thinking that the car.
I think that was the one to go.
They told me.
Let Scott review it right now. I mean,
Do we have it?
yeah.
Yeah, let's go and take a look at it.
Tell Corey not to leave.
But I just hit one.
Okay, you go back and tell him, hey,
I'll be excited when I
get that. Well, I will, when she gets back from talking with her,
And the weather race.
No problem. Yeah, you're right. So there should be something there.
Oh, I need 30 more to lose.
And,
Please. That way we.
That way, whatever you choose is good.
you know, the spiral staircase.
yeah, there should,
Because I mean, I wrote 40-year roof. I'm sure that would have some warranty.
all right. I guess it stands to reason that we probably ought to, too, whenever we close these buildings out and do like a final walkthrough, that somebody goes up and just does an state highway.
Yeah.
I know the last crew that was in here, my thoughts were, let's find an out of area, kind of like building inspector.
Yep.
To give us a reverse inspection, to make sure that,
Because you said you asked for it out of the jail,
Yeah, I'm
and they
gonna
didn't
look
want
at
to do
both
it.
of them that way, whatever one you choose.
See,
I knew there would be stuff that would be found, and I'm like, I'm not trying to find this to embarrass them, I'm trying to find it because I
Protect
want
the
to
county.
make sure the county's good.
That's,
They just
yeah.
handed me these. Look at.
Oh, and,
I've been my best self lately. Yeah.
For the,
Yeah.
so they would use the same.
Had pizza. I could
Because it was defective. Okay.
Okay,
And
that's
what
kind of
about this? What
that's
about,
our.
that one I
So
know.
legal counsel, move forward with getting, you'll have
okay. Got it. Thank you. for-
Actually,
I have
a lot of it.
the same color. I just have
Have somebody who actually comes
to
together.
wear with it. I just have the exact same color.
Maybe able to put it together.
All one color, and I'm not opposed to doing that. I just don't have a
Going,
jacket.
because I mean, we want to protect that area out there just like, what the thing has done.
Oh, it's 20 years.
Things set up to where we can control everything.
From completion, yeah.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Just let us, yeah.
Now, we have to, there's certain causes we'd have to prove.
Do you have
Probably
any
have a-
issue with the coroner?
I do.
Additional person?
So can I hire somebody at $70,000 to do my job?
Yeah, let me
I'm
share
not
that.
sure if 70,000 is the right amount. I don't mind.
Well, that's what's in, that's what's in the contract,
Which
or what he's been asked for.
one of your roof?
Big down.
Scott thinks it's exceptions for the damage
Have
or
to.
Let's just tell us how you.
Right.
to where he needs.
Does have
They're back.
a notice period to once discovered.
And we just
For
discovered it.
jamming.
So it's good, the clock starts.
Okay.
30 days, so it's 20 minutes.
So it's
It says for deterioration of workmanship.
all of it, eh? So it's
So-
covered.
So if we have
Yes, it's so much easier.
Our two-tone is generated from our side.
they gotta pay for that.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just have Corey get somebody on it.
Yeah.
Well, he's already had somebody inspect it and say, he's got bids out right now.
Is that this malarkey? This is malarkey.
So,
So they were involved with this deal too.
Yeah.
So they could be on the hook also.
20 years.
Let's see what they,
I know.
yeah, have you had it inspected? Do we know what the defect is? They're on the hook.
That's always been my understanding. No, like I said, I don't. Fire state also.
But at the same time, we've got an agreement with both of them.
Yeah, this, based on Smith,
Yeah.
Smither, they're responsible.
So we're gonna go, we'll say go after them.
Yeah,
that
because the
roof recovery.
manufacturer.
Can you said you've had it inspected?
Mr. Sure.
Okay, can we get that inspected? And then, because we got 30 days to get this done. We have to tell them within 30 days. Can we get somebody
Ask
out there to
Gary
do
if
that?
he
for us?
might be able to take a look at it. I mean, in his civil engineering capacity, he
That's
can.
true.
If he can't, then he could recommend another
Yeah, he
civil
could refer it
engineer
out.
to look
Okay.
at it.
And we've seen the rest out there too.
Or Ann. Ann's a civil engineer.
Either one.
Thank you.
She's just from Purdue, Corey. She's not from Rose Home.
Yeah,
ASAP.
yes.
Yeah.
We got a 30-day window.
Yeah.
So we won't get it done in 10.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we don't want to miss that deadline.
So,
Right.
Okay.
No, right on. That's great. Boy, that takes a weight off everything there. If we can get that.
yes.
That's what we would basically.
And
I didn't mean to be. I'm thinking let's get this right today.
yeah. Yeah.
Might as well.
You guys ready to go again?
Oh, yes, thank you so much.
Let's see. We're going to go ahead and reconvene our commissioner meeting. And next on deck and up will be Kayla Brooks from Planning.
Good morning.
Probably 3.
So I've just got one rezone to present to you this morning.
So the Bloodsoe and Wallace, which one is not there?
Bledsoe has withdrawn from this meeting.
Okay.
So we're working with the Wallace rezone.
All right.
This is a rezone request from agricultural to R1. And that is because this particular property has exceeded its maximum number of splits to be seen as a minor subdivision moving forward. It did receive a 6 yes, 0 no vote from the Plan Commission for a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission with the condition that the house must substantially conform to the presented plan, which Sarah has just printed out. But that was their only condition. You can see on the map that I put on the screen from Beacon that this is an area that has some other residential in the area. Because it is being rezoned, or the request is to rezone it to R1, that would allow this split then to be a major subdivision versus a minor subdivision. So this lot, as well as the house lot that is kind of inside the L, they are all owned by the same party at this point. So the major subdivision would be dividing those two so another house could be built to the north of the current house. Currently, our ordinance does not allow for major subdivisions to occur on agricultural zoned property. But in this case, entire area is zoned agricultural still. It is shown in the future as planned neighborhood. Anyway, That's the end of my request. I would note that I need to still run this by our attorney so that the ordinance is still in draft form. So I need to make sure the legal is good and that Rhonda is okay with it. So if I could get, I guess, a vote, but then know that I'm going to run this by our Plan Commission attorney to make sure I've gotten all of the document put in order, if that's okay. Sorry, I'm running by the seat of my pants a little bit right now.
Approve under,
Under condition, yes.
waiting for
Planning Commission legal review.
attorneys to look at it.
Gary, any planning notes that you want to share? Or?
No, it was almost a no-brainer. Everybody was going for it. It's just one of them things. It's their land. I mean, just change it to residential, R1 it was.
Yes, and
R1.
Mike Gibson is here to answer any questions you might have about this as well.
So we didn't find a problem with it.
Have an ordinance number?
Yep. Sure.
I move that we accept the.
You have to introduce it.
Introduce the
Yeah, we have
ordinance.
to introduce the
Just
ordinance.
introduce it.
Okay, I make a motion, we introduce the ordinance number 25-4-B as presented.
Second?
It's not a
It is-
motion.
it's
It's
not
not
a-
emotionable.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go ahead and move to
I
adopt ordinance.
make a motion.
Then we'll move to suspend the rules and approve.
Make a motion to suspend the rules to approve this ordinance on the same day as introduction.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules to adopt ordinance number 2025-4-B on its day of introduction. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
I make a motion that we accept ordinance number 2025-4-B, referencing in section 156.020 for Center Township is hereby amended by rezoning the subject area from agricultural A to R1 residential 1.0, with the caveat that it is approved by Ms. Cook, the Planning Commission attorney.
And it has to look as close to that as possible. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 2025-4-B as presented with pending Planning Commission legal review and maintaining the description as presented in Exhibit A. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
We won't sign this
Yeah.
today, and then when it's complete, then we'll get a copy of it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we got that. Now, Mike was not on the agenda. Are you going to, Mike, did you want to stick around until the end? You weren't on our agenda today.
And that's fine. If not, I can come back another day.
Amanda Everidge, do you care, though, if we may fit in Mike?
Got 5
or
minutes.
It's going to be a super short. Okay. Thank you. Mike Gibson, come on down.
Good morning. I have 2 plats here for right-of-way dedication. The first one is a replat of Marcus Smith Farms minor sub located at 7481 North Thomas Road. It's a 35-foot dedicated half right-of-way for 2 lots. The total being 0.290 acres.
All right. Okay, I make a motion to accept the 35-foot dedicated half right-of-way associated with the replat of the Marcus Smith Farms minor subdivision, and that is an amount of 0.290 acres as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We accept the 35-foot half right-of-way, dedicated right-of-way for the replat of the Marcus Smith Farms minor subdivision as presented in an amount of 0.290 acres. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Go ahead and
Okay.
the next one.
The next one's might be a little bit more complicated simply because it's on a state road, and I don't know if you guys have spoke with Gary Poole, but it is a 70-foot dedicated half right-of-way along State Road 234, located at 870 West State Road 234, and it's 0.548 acres. And there again, that is a state road, but Gary said that he would like to go ahead and present that for your guys' acceptance of that dedication, so.
Okay.
Gary hasn't signed it yet.
Okay. Here's this one. I'll trade you. Okay, so Gary said go ahead and accept it, or
He asked me to present it.
so it's on a state road, but I mean.
It's on a state road, and if this has to be discussed and come back, that's fine, but we wanted to present it the first time because there again, it is a state road.
I
There's
would like to
nobody
know that we
accept-
can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so.
We present it to,
let Gary take a look at it, make sure that we can actually accept it.
I
'cause
don't know that you can, but
that's,
we can't proceed. We could take that off and not even have a dedication, but who does the right of way go to? The state's going to come in and take it at some point, maybe, or there's an assumed right of way there that's.
yeah, I'd rather know what it legally is, before we did it. So,
Okay,
all right,
that's fine.
thank you.
it's a learning experience.
Thanks, Mike. Yep. Amanda Average. Come on up.
I feel like we should submit like walk-up music for all the participants. That'd be fun.
Depending on what kind of music that would be.
A little flair. I have to think about what my walk-up song might be.
Yeah, you would kind of know what reception you may get by what kind of music plays. Good, bad.
They do have clown music.
That's more like.
Not insinuating, I'm just saying.
Yes, yes. I give off much more to Captain Severdy. Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having us today. So I'm here to present our quarterly update on the Hancock County Community Response Collaborative. So that I was just talking with a group today, and I realized that when this all first started back in 2021, we had a full different board of commissioners, and so you guys have come a long way. We have come a long way, and I appreciate you guys' support.
Got the A-team today.
You do. I love it. All right, so we'll just walk through the presentation. We're going to talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, and what we've done with the funding that the county has been so generous with us in providing. So the first page that you have there is our four main teams of the behavioral health service line. So we have our justice navigation that works on our reentry transition planning, where we go in and we work with individuals for the 3 months prior to them being released from incarceration to ensure that they have a good, solid transition plan, getting their insurance, job, housing, shelter, reconnecting with their informal supports. We offer peer recovery services, and rapid assessments for mental health treatment. We have our Connection Center, which is our group that serves Hancock County at large. So whether you are within the justice system, if you are a patient of Hancock Health or simply a resident of Hancock County, we work to identify those needed resources, create care plans, and walk that journey of getting individuals over some of the barriers that are preventing them from living a healthy and well life. And then we also do our community outreach and education. We do several trainings. Our critical incident stress management team that responds to traumatic events for first responders, our CIT training, crisis intervention team training for first responders, and many other things, suicide prevention, trauma-informed care. We offer naloxone to the community at large. So if someone is struggling with opioid use disorder, has someone that they know that is struggling with opioid use disorder, or we've had just good Samaritans that are like, you never know when this might happen, and having a dose of Narcan may be helpful and could actually save someone's life. We're able to provide that to the individuals within our community free of charge to help reduce opioid overdoses. We have our mobile response team. We're currently looking at having we have two peer recovery specialists, a bachelor's level, and we have presented a job offer to a licensed mental health counselor. So cross your fingers and we'll get that response back here soon, and have a team of 4 that are working on crisis de-escalation and stabilization there in the community. One of the big things that team does that is super helpful and really speaks to even the public safety of our community is if we have someone who is needing inpatient stabilization and they're in that immediate crisis, and it is safe for them to be transported, not utilizing EMS or law enforcement, our team is able to transport them directly to treatment. So that means an officer isn't pulled off of the street, an ambulance isn't out pulled from runs, and we're able to get people into treatment in a healthy and safe way, utilizing a clinician and peer recovery specialist combo to get them where they need to go. And then we have our Hancock Counseling and Psychiatric Services. We provide mental health and substance use treatment. We sit on both of our problem-solving courts, operate therapeutic treatment groups for the community, adolescent and for adults, and we'll be working on our behavioral health integration of putting providers and clinicians in our physician practices to help alleviate some of the burden of the need for mental health treatment.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Now, you said you guys actually transport.
Yes, sir.
And how do you keep your people safe? I mean, is there a chance that something might happen?
I think there is always a risk, right? You don't go into any of these situations without risk. Our team does the best that they can do in the field to assess that level of risk. So if we have someone who we fear may be, if someone is combative, we would not transport. If there is risk of them attempting to get out of the vehicle on the road, we would not transport. Now they can't get out because the child, so we have a van, a Pacifica. We go 2 staff always, so we have the driver. In the middle row is where our peer recovery specialist or our clinician sits, and then the patient sits in the far back.
Okay.
So that's not to say that something could never happen, but we do our best to reduce that risk.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. So then on our next page, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing metric-wise. So in the Connection Center, and this is just to give you an idea of what we look at as far as our volume and our numbers and how well we are able to serve Hancock County as a whole. We have the Connection Center, so these are the non-justice specific individuals. We had 315 referrals for the first quarter this year. You can tell last year was just over 1,000 for the year. We are on trajectory at this point, to far exceed that, and we do every year by a good amount. Our mobile response team, Justice Navigation, so we combine those two together. We have so far, first quarter, had 142 referrals. So that's individuals that we're working with directly engaged in the justice system, whether it be in our jail, the probation department. We work a lot with community corrections, and then work through some of that reentry piece. But all of those referrals come from our justice system specific. I'm going to start including the CISM responses, the critical incident stress management, because that truly speaks to keeping the first responders who are responsible for the safety of our community, keeping them well and safe. Responding to traumatic events, assisting in de-escalation, stabilization, in supporting them through understanding what their experience was and how they can move forward in a healthy way. It keeps our providers or our responders in a healthy space so that they can continue and be present on the job. So far this year we had 21 responses. So individual responses where we met with groups or individuals for debriefings and accounted for 65 engaged individuals. I will say February was not good. It was a rough month, and 20 of our 21 responses all came within 2 weeks in January. So a lot of support given there to our first responders. And it is a team of volunteers. Out of those 21 responses, participated in approximately 17 of them. This funding allows us to have the staffing there within our departments so that we can be out there in the field and support as needed, because you never know when these calls are going to come in. Rapid assessments for justice. So these are individuals. One of the things that we've done is we have a licensed social worker. She'll be sitting for her licensed clinical social work boards here soon. We prioritize if we have someone that is in community corrections, probation, and they need a mental health or substance use disorder assessment, rather than getting on a list, waiting until the next provider is available at community or Hancock Health or wherever, she does a rapid assessment. So we have been able to get individuals, if all goes well with running insurance, they answer their phone, they get scheduled. We've been able to get individuals in within 2 days so that they're able to receive an assessment that gives them a diagnosis and a recommended treatment plan so we can then get them into the right level of care. So that has been a huge benefit that we've been able to do. Oftentimes when we're looking at individuals transitioning from community corrections onto probation, or transitioning out of probation back into the community through reentry, having that clinical assessment and treatment plan recommendation is oftentimes necessary prior to their ability to move forward onto the next step. So being able to expedite that just helps our judicial process a little bit, helps individuals know what they need and not have to kind of linger in that limbo space, which we know can often lead back to behaviors or challenges that or barriers that may lead to recidivism.
Now, Amanda, when they are in probation, are you already working with them, getting them ready to?
Oftentimes, yes. Sometimes we have had individuals who we followed that full spectrum where we started with them in the jail, they were community corrections, and now they're in probation. We've had and then various timeframes within probation. One of the offers that we have standing with corrections and probation is the willingness and ability to communicate with them in their weekly staffings. So we had Chanel attended community corrections weekly staffing for quite a bit of time. What that did is that built that process, and now they can communicate via email, but attending that weekly staffing so that we kind of, when you're in the face, it's that you remember to use the resource and the service. So we try to be there as present as possible. So we had, you can see last year total, we did 40 assessments. We started in April with Chanel, who is the one that primarily does that. So from April to December, we have already in first quarter completed 14 assessments. I went ahead and put attended and scheduled because one of the things that you see this year that we did not see last year are the cancellations and no-shows for their assessments. So we had 25 individuals that were referred to us by justice system. 11 of those did not participate in the assessment for whatever reason. But we would communicate back that this did not happen. We do not personally or as a department team, we are not the accountability for those individuals. Our goal is never to get somebody in trouble, but we do communicate with those that are accountable for those individuals. So then if they choose to not participate in our program, then the natural consequences are what come from there. And then Hancock Counseling, we mentioned that one of the things that we do with this fund is prioritizing and set a portion or a percentage of our medication management providers as well as a couple of our therapists so that we're able to prioritize individuals for appropriate level of care for us. So this is in total, so these are not all justice referrals, but just to understand the gravity of what we do within Hancock County for our treatment. We are one of many providers, right? We already this year in first quarter seen 1,303 unique individuals for a total of 6,000 visits. We have our staffing, we have 3 psychiatrists, only 1 full-time, and 2 part-time mental health nurse practitioners. 1 actually starts May 5th. We have 9 therapists and 2 medical assistants. So with 9 therapists and 5 med providers, that's who hit those 6,000 completed visits. So that doesn't include our cancellations, no-shows. We receive to our office, our counseling office alone, 250 referrals approximately every month for new patients. We're only able to get in around 50 to 60. And we're limited because we're doing good therapy and we're doing therapy the way therapy is intended to do and spending the time with our patients. And so what we're seeing is they're actually getting better. So my goal is to see that unique visits number continue to increase. So which means we're able to get people well, get them out. Maybe they go back to their primary care doctor for med management and maybe they don't need therapy anymore, at least for now.
Well, looking at your first quarter numbers, you will probably far surpass your 2024 numbers.
Mm-hmm. I anticipate we will. We are struggling in our community with the acuity of mental health. So meaning that individuals are hurting more, the stressors are greater than I think we've typically experienced. The ability to cope in a healthy way with the challenges that we're facing is getting harder and harder. We're in a trying time, regardless of where you stand in any political arena. It is a challenge for individuals, and we see a lot of that in our space. So really, it's just trying to help people figure out how to live in a healthy way. And keep them safe, keep their family safe, and keep our community safe.
How do you feel that your staffing versus your unique clients is working out? Is the staff overwhelmed? Are they underwhelmed? Is everything adequate?
I would say there are moments where we're overwhelmed, right? I think our clinical staff, just because of the level of what we're working with in that therapeutic process, is a lot. It's hard work. We have adjusted, however, our model, which is also paying off in the revenue side. But rather than pushing our psychiatrists to do 20-minute visits, like doctors are supposed to do, right? Get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out. And I actually have some of my team, we have Dr. Ben McAllister's with us. He's our medical director and psychiatrist. He spends 30 minutes at least with his patients in their follow-up appointments.
So it's not a wham, bam, off to the next. It's a pretty sit down, take time with these people.
Absolutely. Let's
listen to them.
Yes. And I don't know if you ever talked to someone who's in a mental health situation, right, or dealing with a lot of issues, but it is not a fast conversation. So we really want to make sure that they're getting the most out of their services. We went from our therapy team doing 8. They were scheduled. I've had the department about 2 years now. All of our therapists were scheduled 8 visits, back-to-back, 45-minute sessions. That was our day. back to back all day, 8 sessions, 45 minutes, get them in, get them out. Because that's just the volume, and it was like, they were doing the best they could, but we've backed that off. All of our providers now do 60-minute sessions. They're only scheduled 6 a day. So it's about keeping them well too, because if you're not in a great space, you're not gonna be able to provide good care. And that's where we're seeing patients graduate therapy for the first time in a long time. So people are actually getting better.
That's good.
When they come to us. So I'm very, very proud of that.
Good to hear.
And again, it pays off financially. All right, so on the next piece, I almost brought it. I should have brought the award and set it up here for you guys. We were nominated, we received in March at the NAMI Indiana Criminal Justice Summit, the 2025 Cross-System Team Impact Award. So we were nominated as mental health advocates and for our leadership, collaboration, and dedication to advancing mental health in our justice space.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. It was very exciting. It was
All of you.
It was. There was a lot of hard work there. So you can see there were members of all of our teams there. This is not a Hancock Health solely thing. Like, we could not do what we do without the support of our chief of probation, our judges. Sheriff Burkhart I have done many presentations with him. We did 2 specifically around this collaborative, one at a NAMI Indiana conference and one at this Crisis Intervention Team International Conference. So with people, literally we had people from like Africa there. So it was really, really cool experience to get to tell people what we're doing and to have a room packed full of individuals who are looking to Hancock County as the model for how you do mental health and justice. I had to share that. One of the other pieces that we did, I'm put this in here because this is probably one of Hancock County's most hidden gems. Do you remember, anyone familiar with like the Blue Book is what it used to be called? It was put out by United Way, Central Indiana. It was literally blue bound book of Hancock County nonprofit resources in whole. What we did several years ago is we took that book and updated it and expanded it to include not just not-for-profits, but we try to include all vetted Hancock Health or Hancock County mental health, substance use, and any of the providers that are able to help people with their social needs or any of those social determinants of health. And then it is now an electronic searchable database. It's something that you can click a bunch of resources, print off one sheet for people. But the number one challenge that we have heard always, it's been in all of our needs assessments, it was in our mental health needs assessment, the number one barrier to treatment is that they don't know where to go. They don't know what's available. They don't know who takes their insurance, what the process is to get in, how much is it going to cost them out of pocket, how are they going to take care of their child while they're there. So that is what the Connection Center's purpose is. But this is a space where we now at least, we want to make sure that if someone's not comfortable coming to us for whatever reason, they're still able to access the resources for our community. So that lives on the Hancock Health website. On the left is where you can see, I just included that so you could see what categories there are. And then on the horizon, program-wise, so behavioral health service line, relocation, obviously that's a big one, right? That's a big part of one of the grants that all of one of the grants that we received and a big part of what we do. Moving into the new building, it is 156 West Muskegon, so it's right there across the street from Applebee's. Fun update, even before our team knows, we should have the immediate care, should be opening in the Brandywine Plaza, which is the plaza there at Kroger, on May 5th is the deadline goal. After that, the team will go in and do the demo on what is currently the immediate care. The Connection Center mobile response team side is done, minus flooring and one more coat of paint. So we should be in, we're hoping by August. Once we do that, that is gonna open up a lot. It's gonna give us more meeting room, it's gonna give us more group space to expand that. It's immediately going to give us 3 more offices to put a therapist position posted. So we'll be looking to expand our therapy team immediately so that we can start to meet some of those needs. And our goal is by the end of the year, we will have the integrated behavioral health and putting some of those providers in the doctor's offices quickly as well. We have our second annual mental health summit coming to Hancock County. That'll be at Greenfield Central in September. We are reworking process evaluation and metrics. So we did the sequential intercept model mapping, which is what gave us essentially the recommendation of how the county can support our local justice system and mental health providers and kind of what to use the funding for. Now that we've been here for a couple of years doing the work, we are back to revisiting that mapping and looking at, okay, well, what are we doing now? How is that working? What are the pain points and how can we improve each of those groups? We've already done that for the jail and navigation team. And so our next step will be working with probably probation and community corrections on that reentry piece and what that section looks like. Hopefully community corrections. We didn't have a strong community corrections presence several years ago. So I know Morgan's very excited to do what she can to improve the care there in our community corrections space. Mobile response team, once our clinician accepts our offer, we are going to look to expand our services so that we are not just the Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, because we'd be so lucky if everything happened during business hours, right? But they don't. So we'll be looking to extend that, those hours. Not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but the clinician that we're bringing has many years experience on a mobile response team in Indianapolis. And so I think she's going to come with some good recommendations and make sure that we're doing it safe and well. Our goal is to continue. We don't respond in the field without 2 people. That's part of safety. So we want to make sure that we're able to continue to do that. And a huge one that has been requested for a long time, all of our staff have undergone some pretty intensive treatment or training on how to work with adolescent and families. So when you respond to an 8-year-old in crisis, that is a very different skill set than responding to a 40-year-old in crisis, sometimes. But overall, it is very different. So we wanted to make sure that when our providers were out responding in the field to a child and their family, that they had all of the best practice and the information and skill set that they needed to do that. So we have put them through a battery of trainings, and we will continue to do so. It won't just stop. But our team is now able to respond and support families and adolescents in crisis. That is great news, and our schools are very excited for that as well. So that's going to, I think, make a big difference overall. Hancock Counseling, again, we're going to continue to expand. Part of this is to get us into a new location so that we can increase our services, increase our provider, which increases our revenue, which will help in that sustainability. Your next page is the county funding recap. So that's overall everything that was funded. Okay, I will say, I'm going to start with, I apologize. Our March financials have not been released from the hospital yet. Once those do get released, I will go ahead and send you all of that information and pull it all together. But there are gaps in what you currently have. So what you have is not the full picture of first quarter. There were a few things that I noticed as I was pulling this together where there were some pieces missing in the expense allocations. It wasn't matching what I had in my records, so we're going to make sure that's all reconciled before it comes to you officially.
We're reporting federally on.
Okay, perfect. I will see if I can get her to wrap at least our part up by the end of the week. Perfect. That is, I won't make a note of that. I'm sure she will. Usually it's out by the 15th, so I was a little shocked, and then it would have been easy to reconcile, but I keep everything pretty together. And I keep all of your funds are in one department code. So it's easy to track. They're not getting mixed in with other funds or having to figure out which of this line item is one or the other. So it'll be an easy fix. So at the back, what you do have is where we currently are at. So with what I have proposed, this last page kind of gives you the quarterly breakdown. you'll see we went into the year with, did I print off the wrong? Oh, I printed mine's off wrong. I don't know if yours is wrong. Let me look at a packet that you received. I missed giving myself a sheet. Nope, you got the right one. That's good. So on that back page, the funding, you can see once we received the 2 additional grants at the end of 2024. So that is all reflected up there at the top. So going into 2025, we were right over $4 million. With the labor and a few of our building renovation invoices that have already come through, we are currently at that $3.6 million without putting in the additional expenses. So I think with the expansion of services, getting into the new building, we will easily go through all of that between labor, staffing, and then